Deus, Classical Latin, de.s, Ecclesiastical Latin, d.us, is the Latin word for God or deity. Latin Deus and Divus, divine, are in turn descended from Proto-Indo-European *Deo, celestial or shining, from the same root as *Dios, the reconstructed chief god of the Proto-Indo-European pantheon. In classical Latin, Deus, feminine dia, was a general noun, one referring to a deity, while in technical usage a divus or diva was a figure who had become divine, such as a divinized emperor. In late Latin, Deus came to be used mostly for the Christian God. It was inherited by the Romance languages in Galician and Portuguese Deus, Catalan and Sardinian Deu, French and Occitan Dieu, Friulian and Sicilian Diu, Italian Dio, Spanish Dios and, for the Jewish God, Ladino/Dio/Dio, etc., and by the Celtic languages in Welsh Da, and Irish and Scottish Gaelic Dia. Cognates. Deus, Classical Latin, de.s, Ecclesiastical Latin, d.us, is the Latin word for God or deity. Latin Deus and Divus, divine, are in turn descended from Proto-Indo-European *Deo, celestial or shining, from the same root as *Dios, the reconstructed chief god of the Proto-Indo-European pantheon. Deus, Classical Latin, de.s, Ecclesiastical Latin, d.us, is the Latin word for God or deity. Latin Deus and Divus, divine, are in turn descended from Proto-Indo-European *Deo, celestial or shining, from the same root as *Dios, the reconstructed chief god of the Proto-Indo-European pantheon. In classical Latin, Deus, feminine dia, was a general noun, one referring to a deity, while in technical usage a divus or diva was a figure who had become divine, such as a divinized emperor. In late Latin, Deus came to be used mostly for the Christian God. It was inherited by the Romance languages in Galician and Portuguese Deus, Catalan and Sardinian Deu, French and Occitan Dieu, Friulian and Sicilian Diu, Italian Dio, Spanish Dios and, for the Jewish God, Ladino/Dio/Dio, etc., and by the Celtic languages in Welsh Da, and Irish and Scottish Gaelic Dia. Cognates. Edit. While Latin Deus can be translated as and bears superficial similarity to Greek theta epsilon theos, meaning God, these are false cognates. A true cognate is ancient Greek Zeus, king of the Olympian gods in Greek mythology, Attic Greek, zeta epsilon, Romanized, Zeus, Attic Greek, Zeus or Zeus, Doric Greek, delta epsilon, Romanized, Deus, Doric Greek, Deus. In the Archaic period, the initial zeta would have been pronounced such that Attic zeta epsilon would phonetically transliterate as Zeus or Zeus, from Proto-Hellenic *Zeus. By combining a form of Deus with the ancient Roman word for father, Latin, pater, pa.ter, one derives the name of the mythical Roman equivalent of Zeus, the sky god Dies-Piter, dies.pi.ter, later called Iupiter or Jupiter, from Proto-Italic *Gispater, descended from Proto-Indo-European root dyws pater, literally meaning sky father. From the same root is derived the Greek vocative O Father Zeus, Attic Greek, zeta epsilon pi tau epsilon rho, Romanized, Zeupater, and whence is also derived the name of the Hindu sky god Diupit, Vedic Sanskrit, Diupit, and Proto-Germanic *Tues or Teus, hence Old Norse Tyr. 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. Latin Bible. Edit. Latin Deus consistently translates Greek theta epsilon theos in both the Vetus Latina and Jerome's Vulgate. In the Septuagint, Greek theos in turn renders Hebrew Elohim, as in Genesis 1:1. Masortic text Biblical Hebrew, Romanized, Bereshit bara Elohim et Hashemayim wet Herods. Septuagint Koine Greek, Nu rho chi pi omicron eta sigma epsilon nu theta epsilon tau nu omicron rho alpha nu kappa alpha tau nu gamma nu dot, Romanized, N archi epoisen ho theos ton auranon chi tn gen. Vulgate Latin, in principio crevit Deus a Elohim et terram. English, in the beginning God created the heaven and the earth. In theological terminology. Edit. The word Deus is the root of deity, and thereby of deism, pantheism, and polytheism, all of which are theories in which any divine figure is absent from intervening in human affairs. This curious circumstance originates from the use of the word deism in the 17th and 18th centuries as a contrast to the prevailing theism, belief in an actively intervening God. By 1888, it was written in the Encyclopaedia Britannica, although Deus and Theos are equivalent, deism has come to be distinguished from theism. The former word first appeared in the 16th century, when it was used to designate anti-Trinitarian opinions. In the 17th century it came to be applied to the view that the light of nature is the only light in which man can know God, no special revelation having been given to the human race. 10 followers of these theories, and occasionally followers of pantheism, may sometimes refer to God as Deus or the Deus to make clear that the entity being discussed is not a theistic God. Arthur C. Clarke picks up this usage in his novel 3001, The Final Odyssey. William Blake said of the deists that they worship the Deus of the heathen, the god of this world, and the goddess nature, mystery, Babylon the Great, the druid dragon and hidden harlot. 11. In Cartesian philosophy, the phrase Deus deceptor is sometimes used to discuss the possibility of an evil god that seeks to deceive us. This character is related to a skeptical argument as to how much we can really know if an evil demon were attempting to thwart our knowledge. Another is the Deus ociosus, idle god, which is a creator god who largely retires from the world and is no longer involved in its daily operation. A similar concept is that of the Deus absconditus, hidden god, of Thomas Aquinas. Both refer to a deity whose existence is not readily knowable by humans through either contemplation or examination of divine actions. The concept of Deus ociosus often suggests a god who has grown weary from involvement in this world and who has been replaced by younger, more active gods, whereas Deus absconditus suggests a god who has consciously left this world to hide elsewhere. Latin phrases with Deus. Edit. A statue of Archangel Michael at Cologne Cathedral. The Latin phrase quis ut Deus, who is like God, is inscribed on his shield. Nobiscum Deus, God with us, was a battle cry of the late Roman Empire and of the Byzantine Empire. The name Amadeus translates to for love of God. The genitive/dative dei occurs in such phrases as Roman Catholic organization Opus Dei, work of God, Agnus Dei, Lamb of God, and Dei Gratia, by the grace of God. The ablative/dative Deo occurs in expressions as Deo optimo maximo, to God, most good, most great. Agnus Dei. Deus ex machina. Deus ociosus/Deus absconditus. Deus sub natura. Deus vult. Divs. Munificentissimus Deus. Opus Dei. Providentissimus Deus. Rector potens, verax Deus. Regator omnium Deus. Rerum Deus tenax vigor. Rex Deus. Sublimus Dei. Te Deum. Unigenitus Dei filius. Vox populi, Vox Dei. See also. Edit. God, Word. References. Edit. General Nomen, Servius, No to Aeneid 12.139. Charlton T. Lewis and Charles Short, 1879. A Latin Dictionary. Oxford, Clarendon Press. Charlton T. Lewis, 1891. An Elementary Latin Dictionary. New York, Harper and Brothers. Liddell and Scott, 1889. An Intermediate Greek, English Lexicon. New York, Harper and Brothers. Liddell and Scott, 1940. A Greek, English Lexicon. Oxford, Clarendon Press. Winter, Werner, 2003. Language in Time and Space. Walter de Gruyter. Pages 130